This is regarding the name Al-Wahhab.
The next thing, you didn't ask this one, but the people say Wahhabi. Catch yourself before you say that. Stop yourself. The other word I told you is the Arabic word, so is this. It means to bestow, to give. Al-Wahhab, if you say Al-Wahhab, you must be very careful now. You just said Allah's name. Allah is Al-Wahhab. He is the bestower, the ultimate bestower. So you don't take Allah's name and play with it like that. What really happened over 200 years ago, there was a student of knowledge who memorized the Quran when he was not even a teenager yet. He studied all of the fiqh, jurisprudence of the Hanafi. Then he began to study others. And his father, who was a scholar, told him to stop. Just stay with what we have. He said, I want to learn the others. His father almost disowned him because of it. It was very upsetting. You know, don't do that. But he wanted to learn all of it so he could understand. And he began to learn quite a bit. He became convinced that he needed to learn more. And he discovered through this learning that the people of his time were making a grave mistake. I used the right word too, because they were worshiping at graves. They were literally going to graves and calling upon dead people to help them. Righteous people, good people, but they're dead. And even if they were alive, what could they do? They could only make dua for you. Nobody's got any magic. You ask Allah to solve these impossible situations and He can do it. And that's what he was telling the people. And some of those who were making money or getting good position in the community out of these grave worshiping deals took exception to his group because they came in and kicked over all of these monuments on these graves. And of course they had no evidence to support what they did, so instead of dealing with the rationale of why don't you look at what you're doing is wrong, instead they labeled his followers as Wahhabi. Why? Because they couldn't call him by his real name. His name was Muhammad, and they would have had to say they're Mohammedans. And no Muslim would do that anyway. So they call him Wahhabi because his father was Abdul Wahhab. So he was Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, and he wrote a book called Kitab al-Iman. The book, if you read it and take the cover off and you don't know who wrote it, you'll say, this is a great book. It's very good about the belief in Allah is one and the teaching.
Okay. First point, he said about the word Al-Wahhab. And he said that when we are calling these people Wahhabi, we are bringing the sifat of Allah regarding Al-Wahhab. My dear friends, the word Al-Wahhab is not what we refer to here. We are only taking his surname because it was in Arabia and it is still a way how they address people from their second name. And he was making a funny joke regarding why don't we address him as Muhammadan. It's not a big issue, we can address it, but because Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, Muhammad was his first name and Abdul Wahhab was his second name, we have to address it from his second name. Like what? For an example, we always say Ibn Taymiyyah, Ibn Taymiyyah. Ibn Taymiyyah was not his name, but it was his last name. That's why that name is being used. His name was something else. If you see Imam Ghazali, Imam Ghazali's last name was Ghazali. That's why we call him Imam Ghazali, but his name was not like that. Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti, if anyone says Imam Jalaluddin, they might get confused, who are we referring to? There are so many Imam Jalaluddins. So we say Suyuti, the last name, they know, okay, so and so. Nasruddin Albani. When I say Nasruddin, no one knows. But when I say Albani, people know this guy is the one who messed the hadith science in Saudi Arabia. So we always refer the last name. So for Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, we refer as Wahhabi. That's it. He and Wahhabis should not get worried about this. They have to be proud that we are calling by their sheikh's name. That's their sheikh's name. Now listen. If you are a follower of Imam Ahmad Raza, don't you have the name Raza along with your name? Or Razavi along with your name? In Cyprus, most of the people have the word Naqshband or Bahauddin as a tribute to Sheikh Nazim or as a tribute to Sheikh Bahauddin. Why is that? because they like to show their closeness with that. Most muftis have the word Shafi'i behind their name or Hanafi behind their name to show that I am a Shafi'i follower. So he has Shafi'i. So if you have the word Wahhabi, be happy. You are the follower of Abdul Wahhab Najd. That's it. Simple and plain. So that's a person who praised and recommended this book. And let us see what this book has. This is page 88, 89.